to start with 1 million cups, let's go through how the presentation is going to be. So every Wednesday, we have 2 speakers around. So 1 million cup was started by Kaufman Foundation. So, and we are running live right now in 170 cities, and we're still growing. So as the agenda goes is we have 2 speakers. They will be presenting here for 6 minutes each, and we'll be having a 15 minutes Q&A. So please take notes if you have any questions regarding it. And for the first speaker, I would like to invite Michael from MM Solar Advisories. And if you all could stand up and give a round of applause for him.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's fun to be up here because I'm usually out there. So, what a fun deal. I need the clicker, don't I? Nobody go try. There you go, stop. All right. No worries. Okay. All right. Huh? All right. So, what? Yes, we'll take a straw poll. My vote is we'll choose PowerPoint because of a few key features, but that's okay. Anyway, glad everybody's here. So, first slide. This is a quiz. We're going to start with a quiz. We want audience participation. So everybody paying attention and thinking. What has wildly crazy, 9 out of the 10 Americans love it popularity? What's getting better, faster, cheaper every day, all the time, and continuing to get better, faster, cheaper? And what's got massive capital and funding coming into its market? Anybody got an idea? Solar, excellent, you win a prize. See me after the show. Solar power. And here's what we're going to talk about, is why those things are happening and the value of solar for not just, a business like on this rooftop, but for the community. This is a double and triple bottom line business and solution and technology. So keep that in mind. Here's what I also want you guys to do. I want you to think about why not. Because I'm going to be talking about why we all need to be doing this. I want to hear your thoughts afterwards about why not. Okay? So let's talk first about the value proposition. Mainly these are your metrics measurement things here. Presidents, CEOs, boards of directors, CFOs all like. Commercial industrial is the sector of solar I'm also talking about, not residential at your house, Michael and Victoria's house, and not doing large scale, off in the desert, West Texas or North Carolina, where I did a lot of solar work for Duke. We're talking about commercial and residential, so on rooftops, like you'll see throughout the pictures, and look around buildings around the West End. As soon as you implement solar, immediately you've taken a huge, depends on what your project is, you reduce your cost from the grid, your power costs. You control this for 30 years, that's the expected useful life, but effectively it's forever, because once you go solar, you're never going back. So you get control and reduction of your power spend. Who says this? You're going to get this big, beautiful tax break. Somebody that lives in Washington, D.C. right now, but it's true. There are huge tax credits available with solar, and it's a big deal, and I'll explain that in a minute. Your building will be more valuable. You put solar on this building, for tenants coming in or for future buyers of this building, it will be more valuable, for sure, because you have a power plant on the roof. Sustainability. If you're generating clean and safe power in your business, on your roof, you are doing real sustainability. You're not just doing volunteering with Nature Conservancy to plant trees on the weekend, which is awesome volunteerism, but that's not sustainability. Brand value. I'll come back and talk about that. Everybody loves a solar project. Nobody gets in trouble for doing a solar project. All stakeholders love it. Employees, customers, investors. And this is also a big deal. It's kind of counterintuitive. Solar, to decide about it, assess it, and do it is super fast and efficient. It's not a time sink. You don't need a task force. It doesn't take months. It can be done very quickly. We decide the day we're going to do it. It'll be installed in 60 days and start to deliver value like this. So I'm not going to get into all the details of this because there's a lot going on here, but everybody in business here understands that charts that are up and to the right are good. Well, this is up and to the right big time. This is for a real potential project around the Dallas-Fort Worth area for a big shopping mall to put solar on the roof. And as you can see, huge year one tax value. If you're not getting it to understand, it is in your pocket. This is real value, real money. And other tax deductions and other features like that, then you save money for the life of the project. And so look at this incredible value proposition. No money down. There are ways to finance solar for 25 years, it says at the top. No money down. I mean, that's incredible. They're obviously not traditional bankers, for any bankers in the audience, and everybody who's dealt with traditional banking. So let's now talk about the community value. Because solar, and this is why I'm really in this, clean up our air. No contaminated seas and environment. Anybody remember just last month, 136,000 gallons of oil spilled in the Sea of Japan. 32 people died. That is ridiculous. This is going to go away. My kids' won't ever see this anymore. We won't be doing this anymore. It's just stupid. We don't need to do this anymore. It's dangerous. Environmentally dangerous, and it kills people. The last 2 years, the oil and gas industry in the U.S., 500 people maimed or killed in the oil and gas industry. I mean, this is dangerous business. So no occupational health hazards and death. That's a big deal. Who likes businesses where that's cost of doing business? We don't need to do that anymore. I'm going to talk more about the well-paying jobs and the growth of this industry. It's already a vast multi-billion-dollar industry in the U.S. And here's what's really awesome. Look at the growth rate. 17 times faster than the rest of the economy in terms of jobs. So I got a few extra toys this morning. See the chart on the top, the yellow one? That's solar as far as electricity power generation jobs. Fossil's next, wind is next. We already are employing more people to generate clean, safe electric solar power than we are others. And here's proof of real companies doing it all around the country, some locally. So, is there any doubt about this? These are things I've already talked about. The value proposition is real. It's clean, it's safe, it works. And the story on me is I'm really motivated by this because I'm mad about the environmental situation. I'm an outdoor guy. My kids, you know, the longer you get in life with kids and all that, your work needs to become more purpose-driven, more impact-driven. That's kind of why I did this. I've been in this business since 2010, and I'm really optimistic because it's growing like crazy, and North Texas is now super ripe for this. So the mission of my business is to do this, is to serve people, bring together the capital and the technologists to build it. It's all about leadership and inspiration. And so I hope you guys got it from the 6 minutes. It's good for your business and good for your community. Thanks a bunch.
All right, awesome presentation. Hi everyone, I'm going to facilitate the Q&A today. And our first question for our presenters is always, what can the local startup community do for you? How can we get involved? How can we help out?
I knew that. It's always the question. I like knowing the first question. So anyway, I was ready for that question. So I'm not doing this by myself. So I'm a solar advocate. I'm in this, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about it. I'm going to be doing this the rest of my career after being an IT guy for 25 years. So you guys need to get involved because I'll bet everybody out here knows somebody in North Texas that owns a business, that owns a building, that's in real estate, and they're not doing this. Now, I know there's lots of details behind what I just showed, but I got 6 minutes. How deep can we go? But if there was a high-value proposition here that looked pretty straightforward and simple to you, then you guys need to join the army with me and start telling people that we need to get going around here and start doing this. Because very few people around here are doing it. But if you go to the West Coast, all along the West Coast, Colorado, Hawaii, all along the East Coast, massive solar projects going on. It's billions of dollars in the U.S. This is not small-time stuff. So it's coming here, and the reason it hasn't gotten here yet is our power is cheaper than a lot of the rest of the country. So that's why those markets have gone first. And so introduce me to people that own buildings and are going to do something, that have sustainability DNA in them, that are corporate social responsibility. CSR has become a big metric in the last 5-10 years, as you guys probably know. And then specifically, bigger buildings are better because the project's more impactful, more clean, safe energy. Bigger project, more interesting for everybody to bring into the deal. $1 million project's a lot more interesting than a $100,000 project. And these are the areas of North Texas that are priority right now because there's a certain type of financing I won't get into right now that's available. So, thanks.
And yeah, I'm basically going to come around with the mic, and when you take please say your name and what you do, if you don't mind, and then ask your question. That'd be great. And you're right here. Anyway.
Thank you. Dunny, stand up. My name is Andrew.
It's okay, man. That's good.
My name is Andrew Leverett, small business owner, and one of my businesses is a indoor sports facility. It's 45,000 square feet, and I've looked at possibly doing solar, but the problem is majority of the business operates in the evening. And so, are there any battery or storage solutions that can accommodate that, my power needs?
Great question. Are you done? Okay, so yeah, it requires a little bit of analysis, but that's a good point. So solar works, not so much on days like today. You'll get a little production actually, but so nighttime, no. Storage is going to be the value proposition for solar storage is going to fit into that chart I had earlier in a couple of years. It's already a big solution that works economically in those other big U.S. And other international markets. It doesn't really, the economics of storage doesn't work here yet unless you have to do it, maybe replace a generator, but that's different. You're talking about your main power. But it is possible as well, though, that whoever your REP or retail electric provider, we could go talk to them and say, hey, Andrew's going to put this solar array on his business. He's going to generate a lot of power during the day he doesn't need. Will you give him credit for it? If you're familiar with that concept, it's called net metering. We're a super immature market here on that. Arizona, Nevada, California, New York, they've figured it all out. We haven't yet here. But that doesn't mean we can't go to your electric provider and they say, yeah, we love this guy, we want his business, because we can also bring in a solar-friendly retail electric provider. So there's not one answer for you, and it's not yes or no, but I'd be happy to talk to you about it. There's ways to do that, and you've got a nice sized roof. It's greater than 30,000 square feet, so that's good. Thanks for the question.
There's one back here.
Hi, my name is Rocky. I work in healthcare, but I have a couple of questions. I know there's been some changes in some of the bureaucracy around solar renewables, about tax reform, if the tax credits will be removed potentially moving forward, or now there's some new tariffs on these solar products. Can you talk also a little bit about the cost moving forward if we were to integrate some of these panels on businesses and homes? And my second question is, I've always heard wind is the more efficient of the renewable products. Can you give me a bit of a comparison for your solar or wind? If I were to jump into the market, why would I pick solar over wind?
Sure, okay. First on the tax stuff, the investment tax credit has been around the U.S. since the Kennedy administration. It's used in lots of industries. So the big tax thing that was in that chart, with the giant first year awesome value, that's not a new thing. It's not just for solar. You got to designate it for certain industries and types of asset investments, but it's been in solar for years. It didn't get touched in the recent tax stuff. As a matter of fact, one thing they did add, and actually added value, if you're familiar with makers, the accelerated bonus depreciation, does that mean anything to you? Okay, it's a big deal. It means a 30-year asset, you can depreciate the value of that asset entirely in year one, while you carry the book value over 30 years. Chan, you'll know what that stuff's all about. So that's a big deal. So the tax credits are all safe, I would tell you. And it's also because solar and wind are now becoming increasingly super nonpartisan, because it's a big industry now. It's a job creator. You're an idiot politician if you want to hurt either industry because of the job growth. So I hope that answers that. Regarding wind and solar, they're really different. Think of wind mainly like you're going to West Texas. I was just in Big Bend last weekend, and you drive that way, especially on I-20. It's just amazing, all those turbines. So it's more of a utility, large-scale solution. You're not going to put it down here in downtown, really. So think about rooftops, the segment I'm in now. Solar is a much better solution. Generate power where you're going to use it, maybe generate extra and sell it back to the grid. But wind has its place. Wind is a lot less predictable. Solar, and over the course of a year, 2 years, 25 years, how much fuel my solar plant's going to get here is extremely predictable, very accurately. We have decades of data. Wind, you always have to do a wind study before you can build a project. What's the wind like here versus 10 miles from here versus 30 miles from here? So it's really different analysis about where a wind project will be good. But coastal is really good because the wind is more consistent. So talk more about that if you like afterwards.
I know we have a lot of hands up. If we don't get time to get to your question, please do stick around after. We've got Michael's website as well on the whiteboard. But yeah, come up afterwards as well and remember those questions so you can still get them answered later today. So for the next 2 or 3 questions, I'm gonna move to these hands I saw first back here. Oh, he answered yours.
Quick question. I didn't understand that. Do you actually have crews that go out and install this, or you just advise businesses on how to do it and then let them go figure it out?
Great question. As the company name implies, I'm a consultant, right? That's because nobody around here really knows how to do solar. I'm speaking generally. So the first thing is, let's figure out the value proposition for your site, for your business. Then, to your point, I'll bring in the guys that will engineer in great detail, make sure the roof site is good, and build it. So I basically bring in the guys with the money, and I bring the folks that engineer and build it. So that's my job. But I look out for my client and make sure the guys I bring in do the absolute best job they can for the client, so they're super happy, and then they become an advocate, and they come in this room and they're, promoting solar. I know his name.
Hi everybody, I'm Manny from Connective Agency. Michael, we've had a chance to speak to some property owners, business owners ourselves together, and it's amazing always to see how excited people get about this, so thank you for what you're doing. For the audience, if you could share, you had it up there but you didn't talk about it too much, protecting the roof. And we live in Dallas, we live in Texas, so talk about the potential for like hail damage and things like that.
Okay, quickie on that. Think of this. Here's what I tell people. When you live around Texas a while, you see we have normal hailstorm, not the crazy softball size hail. Normal hail, and you drive around. Somebody tell me, what do you see on the car next to you at the stoplight that was in yesterday's hailstorm? What part of the car is damaged? The metal. The metal gets trashed. The windows usually don't. Solar is coated with basically auto glass. It lasts. But if you get softball, baseball-sized hail, call your insurance guy, because nothing survives that, right?
My name is Albert DeWeese. I own and operate Good Automation. It's a test system integration firm. I have kind of a two-part question. The second part's going to follow on what the gentleman just said. What's the typical payback period for one of these investments? And then what is the mean time to failure / operational maintenance costs to keep these things up and running? Because even if they're not damaged by hail, which is one of the things I was worried about,
Right.
as dust falls and the efficiency goes down, what's the upkeep and maintenance costs, the mean time to failure to keep these things up and running?
Right. Great question. So most solar guys around North Texas right here, that doesn't mean Weatherford and going west, where we have a lot more dust and ag issues. Around here, these kind of days, most solar guys say Mother Nature does it. You don't have to do anything. You monitor solar arrays all the time, and if you see a panel or a part of the system's not performing well, then you decide it's an emergency, or somebody go check it out next week, right? Break fix kind of response. It depends on what the issue is. So, but solar typically, really, it's 30-year stuff. Here's the thing, don't listen to me. If the guys that are investing and lending the money in the solar business agree that the expected useful life, the EUL of solar is 30 years, then it's probably longer, because guys with the money that finance things are always super conservative, right? Because they're the guys giving away the money. And they're not going to invest in anything that isn't already proven to be super durable and long-lasting. Of course, things happen, but also almost all top-rated solar panels have 20 to 25-year warranties. Where are you guys going to be in 25 years? I mean, I don't mean to say it's not your problem, but it's 3, 4, 5 CEOs away when you may have a problem with a warranty. So the efficiency is also rated to be at 0.5% per year, and that's all in the financial models, and that's in the value proposition model as well. So the declining efficiency at a very small rate is already in the model.
So what's the payback period, not assuming the CapEx?
There's no payback. I mean, you put little money down, you start saving huge money year one, and you save $2 million plus bucks over 25 years. Net operating income improvement and expenses down because it's replacing grid power. So it's not an ROI conversation, it's a net operating income cost reduction discussion. I know it's odd to think about it.
Let's say in year one, you make all your money back.
In year one, you get a huge tax credit, and you're financing the rest of the project.
So the majority of the tax credit you talked about is a deduction for capital expenditure.
You spend $1 million, you get a $300,000 tax credit. Yeah, pretty compelling, I know. Let's talk about that because it's counterintuitive, but this is real. This is how the industry works. People don't do it around here. How much more time do we have, Sean?
We'll take one final question. And
Okay.
like I said, I know there's still a lot of hands up, so please stick around after and you can out with Michael afterwards as well.
You just answered one of my questions about how big the tax credit is. My other question is, say for example, his 45,000 square foot sports facility. He puts panels over all that. What is his production versus his use? Is he going to be independent of the grid except for his timing issues? Or the standard person's going to install, or are they producing, say,
Yeah.
10 or 15% of what they're actually?
Good question. It depends, but what I will tell you, if you design one that doesn't overproduce and you don't get into that crediting issue with your retail electric provider, anywhere from 25 to 60% of the grid power you'll take out, and you'll now be paying for it, financing it this way with your on-site solar power. But if you get into storage or you've got a deal where you've got more roof space and you can over-generate, then you just got to work out a deal with your retail electric provider. You're still going to need grid power if you don't have batteries because there's nighttime, right? But you might, over the arc of a whole year, you might generate more power over the year than you actually consume because you have a big roof and your usage isn't that great, but you sell it back to the grid, right? So it's kind of complicated, but there's a lot of ways to you can design the system to fit any size bread box if you want, if you know what I mean. So good question, but my experience is anywhere from typically 30 to 60% if we're not going to get into the overproduction, make a deal with your electric provider scene. And I'm going to end with humor, shrug. There you go. Just look at this. Let me just say this. What's the downside of any of this? You know, people that say hoax and that, there's no climate issues and clean energy is ridiculous, they're the ones that are smoking stuff. And what's the downside of clean energy and solar power? We create a better world for nothing. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's give it a little more time for Michael.
Okay, so before we move on to the second presenter, we would like to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. For our coffee sponsor, we got BB&T and we have Chandler over here. If you have any questions regarding that, you talk to him. I do have a small message from BB&T, and that's like, at BB&T, we focus on really getting to know you and your business. The type of understanding helps us to find unexpected opportunities for you to grow your business and make the most of your hard-earned money. When so many things require attention, isn't it nice to know we have yours? BB&T, all we see is you. So if you have any questions or if you want to talk about something, do come to Chandler and do ask him about that. We got Kurtu here for the treats. Thank you for that. We would like to thank the deck for the lovely venue we have. We got our video sponsors and Michael K. Brunner, and I know he's not here, but he will be here, and you can find all our videos online on our YouTube channel. Moving on to the next presenter, we have. Okay, so we have others from Reservace, and if you guys can stand up and give a round of applause for them.
Hey everyone, my name is Adarsh Pradeep. I'm on here on behalf of Reservace. We're the first blockchain-based loyalty program for small business. So I'll get right into it to show you what we're building. We're building a loyalty program that lets you earn points, track and redeem points across small businesses. And it's built on blockchain, but it's not public blockchain or cryptocurrency. So your 10 points that you earn at a coffee shop is not going to turn into 10,000 points tomorrow or 0 points. So how does it work? Well, the main problem we've identified with small business loyalty programs is the fact that people are either not interested in joining yet another loyalty program, or they're not active in their loyalty programs, or they're not redeeming their rewards like they're supposed to because they're just not interested in the offers. For small and medium businesses, on the other hand, they lack access to partnerships, data, and sophistication of large loyalty programs by airline companies or hotels that you may already be part of. And current small business loyalty programs, they silo their data, where if you're a business, you can get access to your direct customers' data and what they're doing, but you have no idea of knowing whether that existing customer likes to purchase a certain type of item at other businesses, or if that new customer coming in, what their preferences are. This is something that the big companies like Amazon, for example, is able to do because they have measure of your entire transaction history, so that video you watched on Amazon Prime can now be used to target ads or products that you like from when you shop on Amazon.com. So what are we solving? So our blockchain, private blockchain again, it enables cross-industry data sharing for small businesses without compromising their competitive data. So think of your customer that comes in from an auto shop into a coffee shop or vice versa. You're now able to see what type of products that customer likes to purchase in order to give better offers to them. So the high-value customer who prefers a high level of customer service and is a big spender wants certain offers tailored to them that a value customer is looking at coupons may not necessarily want. So blockchain enables that by allowing businesses to look at all the data on the distributed ledger. There's low infrastructure costs. It costs us a very minimal amount compared to traditional infrastructure to deploy a small business on our loyalty program, and that's just because of how blockchain works. Market validation, we have 5 stars in Belly, who are our biggest competitors. Belly was actually recently acquired. They had over 25 million in funding. They were based out of Chicago. We have 5 stars, who's based out of the Y Combinator in the Bay Area. They have 12,000 businesses, 1 million consumers using them, and 93 million in funding. So clearly this is a concept that works, and it's something that consumers are excited about, and we want to tap into that while giving more of an advantage to small businesses. And market size for loyalty management program sales. This is not the entire loyalty industry, but it's projected to grow to 4.5 billion in 2021. So our business model relies on a platform fee. It's a small business SaaS. $50 is something we think is competitive compared to our competitors who charge upwards of triple digits for that same program. And what this gives you access to is the marketing analytics, as I mentioned, the loyalty management platform, scheduling and POS. That's something that people are like, why is there scheduling in there? It's kind of our foray into seeing how businesses want to play around with brand engagement and rewarding customers with points for things like showing up to their appointment on time, booking an online appointment, or sharing a review after their appointment. So you get points for that and you're incentivized with that. With POS integration, I'll get to the next slide. So the simple sign-up. POS integration enables this because when you go to that coffee shop or auto shop or salon, and they say, hey, we're part of Reservace Loyalty Network, all you need to do to sign up is give your phone number. There's no email, there's nothing else necessary, and that's all you need to earn points at any small business. The only reason you want to download our app is to track or to redeem offers. So it's super easy to sign up, which is a huge barrier. Again, people don't want to give out their email all the time to each new program. Other incentives, I already talked about blockchain, brand engagement, again, I mentioned with scheduling. The major thing is e-commerce and offline possibilities. Our competitors only use brick and mortar stores because that's what their infrastructure supports. With our infrastructure, from the start, we're able to target both online and offline small businesses. And online is a growing space for a lot of small businesses these days. And with blockchain, you're able to give points to both kind of businesses and track those across the board on one app. And then finally, the coalition network, that's pretty obvious. It allows small businesses to tap into new customers, that existing data, and it allows consumers to get better offers because of the growing size of our network. Finally, this is our team. We're pretty tech heavy. Srikumar, he works at Amazon as a senior full stack developer. I'm a cybersecurity analyst. I work at a major airline in the area. Joe is a middleware engineer. He deals with transactions, again, at a major airline, and that's very useful for cryptocurrency transactions and all that. So that's our team. That's what we're doing.
So aren't you supposed to be at work right now? So love the presentation. Again, we're going to start off with the same question that we do for all our presenters, which is what can the local startup community do for you? How can we get involved? How can we help out?
Okay, so really, I mean, what we're looking for is someone who's familiar with a strategic advisor or partner who's familiar with the small business SaaS space, specifically sales in that space. Because as you can see, we kind of have the tech covered, but we love an advisor who can give us more feedback on small business SaaS because it's a very unique space.
Awesome. And then, yeah, I'll be coming around to take questions, so please raise your hand if you have one. And again, if you want to say your name and what you do before you ask a question, that would be great.
Hi, my name is Harry Kennedy. I'm with Center Education Storefront. Great presentation. What are your projections on both from the store owner's perspective and also the loyalty user's perspective of the amount of businesses, the amount of people using it in order to actually really create that sense of value?
Projections in terms of people using it?
A lot of this is based off of network effect, right? Having multiple businesses and stuff like that. Is there a certain threshold of business that you think you'll need? Do you need a 5,000? Do you need 100? What sort of your projections of that?
Yeah, so we're targeting the DFW area to begin with, and we think that if we can get about 30 businesses on board in a 20-mile radius, that really helps grow it, especially if we're trying to target strip malls and places where there's already kind of a business community that exists. And that grows the consumer side of things because more people use it, they're looking for more businesses that support it, and it's kind of a cycle that feeds itself.
As a follow-up to this, my name is Wyatt, by the way, and what the competitors, first, where are you in this journey? And for your competitors to get to 5,000, I think everyone is 12,000 businesses, how long did it take them? And also, where do you project your trajectory is going?
So our product is in the MVP stage right now. We have the web app platform for small businesses to track points, give out points. On the app side, we're building out the mobile wallet. We have the rest of the app ready on Android. Again, it's really easy for us to iterate because we have all the tech backgrounds. Our competitors, 5 Stars started in 2012, I believe, and Belly started a little before that. Belly was really focused on Chicago, and they didn't do a good job of executing in other cities. That's why they were kind of hovering around 5,000 businesses before they got acquired. But 5 Stars has done a much better job in kind of spreading out to different cities with their affiliate program. And they are, like I said, 12,000 businesses. And our projection is to get to about 1,000 businesses in about 2 years' time. It's kind of conservative maybe, but it's what we're going with right now. Regulatory constraints? No, not really. Again, we're not a cryptocurrency or an ICO, so there's no real regulatory impact. We're just using the underlying blockchain technology. And because we support e-commerce, our business really is global from day one.
John Vine, RevTech, Retail Technology Ventures. We're interested in loyalty, and I think you're right on addressing the market. With point-of-sale integration and leveraging blockchain, can you touch on how that would work, and also the credit card processing for the e-commerce? Because I like that you're able to link the two. Really get that it's cliche, but the omni-channel where you have a loyalty and rewards program too.
So blockchain, for now, it doesn't really tie into the POS integration. We're just working with major vendors like Square, for example, that offer an open API. We can easily tap into that and allow vendors to disperse points right from the POS. But in the future, we are looking at using blockchain's computing potential, distributed computing, to have our own POS, for example, that has a much lower infrastructure cost. And it actually reduces the overall program's cost, which allows us to maintain our cost advantage.
Yeah, so point-of-sale integration can be one of the biggest hurdles for local platforms, especially getting the scale. scale. And have you looked at putting any rules engines or anything to change customer behavior? Sort of what the drivers behind loyalty programs can be to cause your current business to think that nature?
Yeah, so that's something we've looked into. We're actually looking into the flexibility of points in blockchain. People like the ability to redeem at different businesses. We've kind of looked at the economics of that, and right now it's not something we're going towards, but it's definitely something that's possible with our technology, and it's something we're still considering.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie. I work for a data and analytics agency. And I don't think I was really clear on what unique value proposition that Reservace has over like 5-star or Belly. So what is it that would make you different, and how are you not just, why would I not just download 5-star? Why am I needing to download Reservace instead?
So this is as a consumer you're asking, basically.
Sure. Right?
So,
Is there another type of?
well, I mean, so we're selling the platform to the business, and then the consumer like yourself would download the app. So I'm assuming you would download the app and you're wondering why you should download the Reservace instead of 5 stars.
So both then. So why would a consumer and why would a business owner need Reservace over these other 2 platforms that already exist and have already had like good traction and money and all that?
Sure. So like I said, again, the offers that we're planning on targeting for consumers is going to be a lot more personalized because small businesses can use better data than what they're getting from 5 stars. I have the 5 stars app downloaded if you're playing around with it. And the offers they send you are very generic, and they don't really entice me to go into the business necessarily because even when I earn points, it's not the reward I'm looking for, and I can't pick and choose my rewards. Whereas, for example, if you're part of an airline program or a hotel loyalty program, you can choose what destination you want to go to, how many points you want to redeem. There's no set tiers for, hey, you have to earn this many points to redeem this type of offer. It's a lot more flexible, and that's kind of what we're bringing with the amount of data we're able to offer small businesses. And on the small business side, like I said, they get a lot more analytics for their money. They're able to reward brand engagement with points, and they're able to tap into that entire network as opposed to 5 stars, where even when you sign up with them, the only access to data you get is your own customers' data. You can't track where they go and what else they purchase, so you're making a lot of business.
Yeah, my name's Tommy. I actually work for a payments company up in Las Vegas, so I'm very familiar with this space and POS integrations and all that. So my question is to distribute this, get this out to the market. Are you going to sell directly to businesses, or are you just going to try to do a marketplace play where you integrate to Square and have it sitting in a marketplace for a business to proactively select your loyalty program to run with?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question because right now we're talking to local businesses, a couple of auto shops and a couple of restaurants, but that's just for like a pilot program. But ultimately, yes, we would like to integrate Shopify, for example, or Square and put it out in the marketplace because, again, like I said, it enables e-commerce transactions too. It doesn't hurt us to list it on the marketplace and see how it's out there. We'd like to partner better with Square because they don't really have a loyalty partner right now. They do have one, but it's more in the traditional space, so we're interested in partnering with them.
Hi, Amanda Brenner. I love this idea of personal offers, but maybe I missed this. Are you having much success with these small businesses being able to personalize these offers to individuals? Like how does that work? Because I would love to get a coffee when I want a coffee as an offer, but that's the business taking the time to constantly individualize each offer.
So I wish I could answer that question in detail, but because we're in the MVP stage, I don't have the amount of data to know whether they want to personalize the offer. Consumers are definitely demanding it based on all the case studies we've looked at and a lot of consulting firms.
Yeah, I'd be one of them.
Yeah, into the blockchain loyalty element. For small business, I will say that they're not going to be creating each offer individually necessarily. We have algorithms at play that will create the best offer for certain segments. So it's not necessarily tailored to Amanda or someone else. it's tailored to that segment of customer. So a customer that makes a lot of transactions, but the transaction rate is lower, may see one type of offer, but the customer who comes in infrequently but is a big spender will see another type of offer. Does that answer your question a little bit?
All right, thanks. And we have time for one more question, which is coming from back here. And others, if you don't mind holding the mic a little bit closer to your mouth, it's a little bit hard to hear back here. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Sackler. I'm a reporter. Looking at the app. You download the app, give out your phone number, download the app, and then the app sends you push notifications for offers, or how exactly does that part work? And then how much effort does it take on the part of the business owner to create that? I guess that's kind of what she was asking, but mostly just want to know how the consumers get the offers and how that works.
Right, so they would get offers either based on the frequency of their visits. So if they're visiting infrequently, they may get an offer like 3 months down saying, hey, you haven't stopped in for a while, you should come back. Or whether it's for their birthday or some other special occasion that we have on file, we'll send them targeted offers. And another thing we're doing is geofencing. So if you're near the small business and you have your location turned on, we can target offers. Again, I'm in the cybersecurity space and I care about privacy, so we're really looking at that and seeing how best to do that without coming into Big Brother creepy kind of app. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for all the questions. I know we still, again, have some hands up we didn't get time for, but please do stick around and ask a question afterwards. I think both of the presenters are still sticking around for a little bit afterwards. But yeah, with that, thank you again. Great presentation. Let's give them another round.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I got a few announcements to make. So we have Startup Weekend Fort Worth coming up on March 2nd to March 4th. At the UNT Health and Science Center, and the Dallas Startup Week is in April 2nd to April 6th, which will be all around the Metroplex. So do go on the website to check that out, or you could come up and if you have any questions regarding that. Plus, on Wednesdays, we have free co-working at the deck on the white benches, which you can see on the back. If you want to have a tour, do contact anyone from the deck team. They would be happy to show you around. One last question before we leave is anyone hiring or looking for someone with a specific expertise?
Back here.
Yes.
LabVIEW. If you know LabVIEW, or you know somebody that knows LabVIEW, or if you know an engineer with medical device experience, I'd be very interested in meeting them. My name is Albert, and my company is Good Automation.
Cool. Awesome.
You guys know that for Jay?
Yeah, that was good. Thank you.
That's Albert with Good Automation.
Yeah.
Check them out. They're also going to be presenting here at 1 Million Cups in the coming weeks. Yeah, anybody else hiring or anything like that? I'll try to find you with the mic this time.
And if you have any other questions regarding 1 Million Cups, you can talk to any of the volunteers up ahead. And that's a wrap. Thank you guys for coming here.